This is where you do buy the calls if you are wanting to go with calls to go trace out the green and then the yellow path. That's where you would buy as we approach the orange line. Hoping. Is the XSP as liquid as the SPX? I have no problems with that trade, Mike. I have a bunch of XSP trades on. It's liquid enough. The quotes are weird. So if you're looking to sell something and it's saying it's $50, ask for 60. It's very liquid. All right. So let me refresh, reframe. We have a range for the open session. That's the orange box. It's a moving target. The bulls are trying to break out from it to finish the yellow path. The way to do this is to have bought a call on this dip into the orange horizontal line to trace out the green and then the yellow path. It's not looking as easy as yesterday yet, but there are plenty of heroes that can come out and make that happen. NVIDIA has retraced all of the frothiness from yesterday. So NVIDIA yesterday spiked and it just took out most of the spike. So it's ready to retrace that spike higher. Apple is way too quiet. It can jump to 213 and also take the market with it. Apple is the largest contributor to the market, S&P. And just those two are good enough for that. Microsoft, kind of like NVIDIA, can also participate. The ETFs are making a move, middle of my screen on the right side, one of those tiny windows. They too are trying to take out the morning highs. The strength in the ETFs is coming from XLY and XLP. XLP, that's like Costco, Staples companies, Procter. So that's the battle. Bottom right-hand corner, I have the SPX. So everything I say about this main window applies down there with different values. So for the bearish side, you want the red path to happen. I'll move it a little bit so it's more visible. And then lose 592.4. That will probably cause a retest of the lows and a loss to go to the white circle. Right here, we're in the middle of that range. Bias is bullish. So if you were to guess who's going to win this battle, it should be the bulls. Against it, I have a few bearish harmonics that say, no, we should come down to 592 and finish the red path. So I favor the red path against the sentiment of upside. So I always favor science over hope, right? We'll see how that plays out. We are within 10 cents of that red path, or 15. If you favor the upside, that's your second opportunity to buy the call at the cheap versus buying it up when we were going into a breakout. So there's your opportunity to buy those calls to go to the yellow path that everybody's hoping for. So anybody that wanted to join Ryan in the call, that was your opportunity to buy your call. Tell me if you do, so I'll lock it for you so we can track the price. Actually, let me go give you an opportunity. So 593 call, is that what you're buying? $1.19. Sounds cheap. Premiums have gone out of the S&P. Just a few days ago when the VIX was over 20, the premiums were hundreds of dollars to buy one call and one put. Now they're back to being $100. SPX 5965 at 340. Okay. Holding puts. Okay. On the Qs. All right. Let's look at the Qs. Okay. So the 15-second played out the bearish scenario. I guess you're looking for 518 on the Qs. Is that what you're chasing? Be careful. There's a band of support below us on the Qs, so make sure you don't overstay your welcome in your puts. Calls is the way. Yep. Well, if you say that, you're right, just because everybody's looking up. I don't know how you can say that today, based on today's action. Hello. This is where you buy those calls for Ryan's trade. The yellow is the target. Okay, green is the path, yellow is the target. The test is 593.60, the high of the today's session. The problem with that, if there is one, is the overnight session. Look at it to the left. You had a low, you had a high, you had a middle. You have a low, you have a high, you have a middle. So I would imagine that there should be sellers inside of here, which is why I said I would start booking halfway up the yellow. I'm not judging direction today. We are literally inside two scenarios. I favor the downside scenario because we have a weak structure from yesterday. The breadth is up. Everybody wants up. The soldiers are trying to go up. Yesterday, all the soldiers worked. They tag teamed bulls. So everybody put in a lot of effort. So 592 loss, the low of the day, would have the white circle come pretty quickly. Expect the unexpected. That cuts both ways, right? And we have a White House that's intent on taking us to the moon by jawboning. That's good. They should be, they're salespeople, right? Just like the CEO of a company is the salesperson for that company. They should talk it up. Oh, look at my company do well. Like Mark Benioff personalities from CRM. But you need it to be substantiated by logic and math. For me, the upside scenario is so large that makes it unreasonable, which is why I want to short the rally cautiously. Because until I see it in the P&L, the mega caps are stretched at these levels. They were bargains 3 weeks ago, and they're not bargains anymore. As an investor, I'm not rushing. The magenta bars are right around current price, a little bit higher, a little bit lower. So those are streaming on Discord. They were very accurate yesterday, like very accurate. I'm super happy with that. You're welcome. Made money. We can't. So you made 60. So that is 15% reward on money at risk. Gold on the run up or run down? GLD is up. Yep. This is the bottom end of my debit put spread, so it's still very profitable. $40 on, so again, so here's the statement on Home Depot earnings. Earnings trades are lottery tickets anyway. A lot of it is guessing. We make the guessing a little bit more scientific by looking at the money that's in the options chain before the close. So we took a trade that could have paid hundreds and it paid less than hundreds. So job accomplished. We had an opportunity and it made us a little money, although not all the money. We live to fight another day. If you took the iron butterfly and Home Depot drops tomorrow, you're going to make a lot more money. But I don't do that because you can get assigned something. The iron butterfly was negatively set, so you're going to have a sold call deep in the money. You can wake up assigned, and it may mess up your day. If you get assigned on Tasty Trade, their clearing is overnight. So if you have a small account, you're going to get a margin call. You can fix the margin call right away, but you won't be able to open new positions until the next morning. So then you're relegated to closing orders only for the rest of the day. That's unusual. That's my only account that does that. The rest, if you alleviate the margin call, you get access to your funds to trade up and down right away. Man, we're getting the more high profile you get, the more trolls you get. I have copycats everywhere. Jeez Louise. Twitter, Discord, YouTube. I post a video and dozens of people post and try to engage people away from, even in the comment section. Be careful, folks. Don't click on anything. Don't get caught up in some lies. We would never ask for money to trade your money, like no auto trades anywhere in our sphere. Nobody on our team offers auto trades. This is now, if you bought the calls on the orange line, you have enough profits to book it here or book enough and leave the second batch for the yellow path. I would lock at 593.80 as a fast trade. Having said that, look at the ETFs with the force with which they're coming. And it's not the XLF yet, which is the biggest beast among them. That's pretty strange. I'm trying to pinpoint it. I don't have them broken down which ones are the strongest. I would be out here from the call. The call was 119. It is up $41. I would be out. I would be out. That's funny, Will. This is the high tick on the XL Posse. I honestly don't know which one it is. Let's go here and see if we can find out. The XLV, maybe. The XL, who is this? XLI, Industrials, Caterpillar, and such. The XLP has been strong all day. The XLK, XLY, XLE, XLB. So let's go to 1 minute and see who actually pushed us. XLK, so high tech. These are strong. Gapped up. The P's gapped up. I would be out of the call if I bought it for a trade, at the risk of missing out on more upside. Now, we had weak areas below, we have weak areas above from the pop overnight. They want to fill a gap, they choose to fill the upside gap. Quickie short, okay, you can buy a put for a dip towards 593.40 or 20. Support at 593.50. So now you can consider anything below 593 as a support zone for today. So dips into 593, you can repeat call buying. Looking left, 594, 30, 40, and 50 was the problem from overnight. I have $2 of downside from the magenta bars on the Discord for what it's worth. They worked to the upside yesterday. Let's see if they work to the downside today. It's only $1 on the SPY, $2 on the Qs. So maybe the mega caps don't follow through with the XL posse. If you're new, mega caps, we talk about the 7 largest companies. XL posse are the ETFs. XLF, IVYPBECK. So between the two, we would capture the bulk of the S&P soldiers. Mega caps, big companies, or the rest. Where we stream Bookmap. What you want to do is, if you're actively trading calls, is buy calls on the dip, something that looks like that. This yellow line was scribbled me talking into the overnight hiccup area where we are right now. So all this bullishness, like yesterday, is to come back to the zero line. Speaking for the last 2 days, the bulls are in charge of the sentiment. They're in charge of the price action off the lows. For the last few days, this stall, we're stalled deservingly in the right area to stall at. So awesome price action yesterday from a -1 to 0. That is a 1% rally back, right? Right now, from a -0.5 to a -0.2, not as impressive. But if it is as impressive as yesterday, we should be at above 6,000 ES today. So I'm going to say again what I said at the starting of the day. As long as we're not above yesterday's high, and we are now 5,970, so we are $23 below yesterday's high, so 2.3 SPY roughly dollars below yesterday's high. We are at risk of retracing the lows from yesterday, although they just told us they don't want anything below that orange line. So now we have a support zone we can bank on to see if we can go out and take that high from yesterday. So that's the real battle. I just narrowed it down. Okay. I'm modifying my morning note on the fly for people who are in here. Is it possible that NVIDIA will go down? What do you mean? I did not expect that from you. Is it possible? The answer is always yes. And okay, so NVIDIA has given back a lot of the friskiness from yesterday. I'll show you the picture. Maybe you'll see it. I'll go to see. So yesterday, NVIDIA popped from 132-ish to the moon and has given back more than half, and now it's back to the half. So it has better solid footing than the market itself with regards to its price action from yesterday. Can it go down? Yes, but I think it's harder for it to go down. Well, harmonics everywhere, but they haven't played out. They've been going on for weeks. Rising wedges and all of that. Yeah, they have been. So I hear hodling on the way up, but never on the way down. That's the sentiment effect. Very dangerous. When you guys are holding calls longer term, you better know that you need to be fast. Buy a put here. You can buy a put here because this is the struggle from overnight. But you should know that there are buyers at 593.20 and you're fighting sentiment like you're hearing in this room. I helped you a lot. I put in 150 in my account. Yeah. Whoa. Wow. Nice work, Travis. Holy moly. What? Yeah, that's going on somewhere in social media. That sounds fake. Thank you. A picture would be amazing. Email it to me. Listen. Email it to me here. I'll make you famous. It's famous to like 100 people. No, wait. How many? 6,000 people and a few bots. I'm almost a Kardashian. Oh, 7,000. 7,000, including a few bots. Following one. The magenta Qs got better, so maybe the mega caps are willing to take the baton right now. While these guys deal with the overnight highs or prior day highs, whatever that high was right there, which, by the way, will be a catalyst to take us a step higher. These guys are saying, okay, my turn. Let me take this baton and run with it. So now you have strong stocks trying to do their thing. We'll see if they can get us to the high like these guys. And then they will be both ready to explode at the same time. Nick Kardashian. Apple gone. I don't know how you guys. I don't know what time frame are you guys watching. Very closely, okay. But look left. It's not gone. It's coming into a prior fail. So you have to zoom out a little bit to see perspective. So this is Apple. It's gone into a prior fail and a prior fail and a prior fail and a prior fail. Saying Apple gone makes me want to buy a call. And I'm buying a call into a failing zone of 208 to 209. Yes, it's breaking out from 208, heading into another breakdown level. So zoom out, make sure you see multiple time frames. Like at all times, if I'm trading fast and I have a 1 minute chart, you can bet your bottom dollar I have 3 other charts that are showing me higher and lower time frames. 5 and 15 minutes are necessary, even if you're trading super fast. And then you have the super fast charts of 1 minute, 30 seconds, and 15 seconds. Or if you're on Thinkorswim, 133 tick will do you well. Okay, so that's the modified way of trading the Tesla. Careful with the Tesla longs. That burst this today in Tesla was monumental. I'm not sure you still have oomph for it. So let's go TSLL since you guys are in that. 15.2 hiccup 1. I would exit at 1535 and 1555. So I'll put lines. I'll give that so you can launch it on your window and keep referring to it. Those are scientific lines, not emotional lines. Everybody's looking up to the moon, Moflika, to the moon. $523, $350 calls on what stock? Are we talking Tesla? Kava credit put spread. Thank you, Rod. I'm still long Kava from the puts I sold for the year, so I won't be joining you, but thanks for the update. We bought the dip in Kava on, I don't know, let me see, when was that? 68 days ago. And we collected $170, something between $160 and $180 to buy the shares at 35. Somebody panicked and paid us, oh, please get me all my shares at 35. It's now at 91. It's not locking up a lot of money. I should close it anyway. $400, 9% reward to the risk. So I guess I can roll it up. I'll close it. Let's look at the heat map for sanity. Make sure I'm not missing anything. I always push back on myself. So I have bias. I want to make sure I'm not biased for no reason. So it's a reddish day with spots of strength, relative strength. The gray boxes are relative strength. We don't have a lot of green boxes. So that's pretty strange. It's not strange. It is strange. The small caps are leading. That pisses me off because I'm short. Now I'm talking my book on the small caps. This is the Russell 1000, which includes large caps and small caps. Some small caps. Okay, nothing there. And let's look at the IWM. The yellow box in front of me is a scientific box, so there should be sellers in that box. If we take out 210, it's been a really pivotal spot. 205 to 210, specifically 209, give or take a dollar. Very, very heated battles for a long, long time. So the Bulls want to end the week above it. If they can take out that blue line at the end of the week, that's a huge improvement to the bullish opportunity, even on the other tickers, because this one is the one that's dragging. All the other ETFs are at all-time highs or near it. This one is miles away from it. So the bullish thesis gets so much better and more exciting if this one is above the blue line by the end of the week. Uh, I don't know of any. That is hilarious. Only in America. Only in America. Interesting statement there. Okay. I'm going to put myself on mute for a minute. I need a drink of water. So if I put back the lines, I think we hit the orange line. Sure, Daniel, sure. You want to re-engage with calls, this is where you do it. If you're holding puts and you just got your money back, you should lighten up those puts. If you still have the bear setting on your charts, stay in your puts, just make them a little bit smaller because you don't want to fight the market blindly. I see what you see, just be a little bit less conviction. That's all I'm asking for. Okay. Okay. Water acquired. All right, so they're testing and breaching the orange line. It's not a highly scientific line, it's more of a zone where they've bought all morning. If we lose the low of the day, we should get to that white circle and then some. Everything from yesterday is at stake. It's best seen on the ES. I'll bring it as a picture from the outside so you're not used to just seeing one type of a chart. So give me a minute, I'll give you a visual. If you know how to show it to yourself, that's fine. I like to look at the charts from different perspectives. Believe it or not, I make it a point to use my phone. Yes, my phone, and I'm not even a millennial. So this is the risk from yesterday. You can see how the clusters of volumes distribute themselves. So once we lose today's low, we lose volume. Then we have a gap in the volume, not necessarily a gap in the chart, but a gap in the volume. So it's important not to get to the white circle. It will have more downside. I was looking at a headline of what? Oh, the porn headline. I think I saw it a few weeks ago. So you might want to make sure that it's not an old news thing. Try not to trade headlines, folks. I promise you, you're not getting in on the headline early. Hey, I have a few people here to acknowledge. Travis, I already did. Thank you. Who else? Who's this? Willie or Will. Thank you. Glenn, welcome and thank you. If you're here, say hi. You added along. Okay, so that makes sense. Price action. I want to tell you that 593.40 should be a problem right now. So I'm going to move this. No, I'll leave that there. I'm going to move this yellow line back and put it here. That should be a problem area. A bull trap? This whole sequence may be one. The can kick rally left a gaping hole in the charts. Remember that one giant 400 or 600 billion% upside day? You don't often see indices gap up like that and leave it. I posted that on social media and I had pushback from maybe 5 people. And one of the people said, "Oh yeah, that's happened before in the pandemic and some other period of time." Although I cannot verify, even if it did, well, we don't have trillions of dollars falling on our head right now, do we? No, so it's not the same. Oh, he also said 2023. Also, what's not the same is in 2023, we had a huge upgrade from NVIDIA with dollars and cents. Although I push back on the 2023 gap up and go, I don't remember a giant gaping hole in the SPX. I guess I can try to go and find it in another window. Curiosity. SPX, take out all the lines. I think I can expand and go. I'm doing it somewhere else so I don't occupy your space. I'm going to say that was 2023 for 20, April 20th. We have green days that gapped open, but the candles before them covered the gap. So I'll take a picture and compare. March of 2023, we had something like that. And that's about it. Oh, here's some. November 2023. That is a gap. November 2023. That did happen. I'll take a picture so I can keep myself straight. See, we're not blind. We just trust and verify. Hi, Pam Pam. Okay, so now we're drawing a head and shoulders. So the head and shoulders is not a reason to buy puts, but it gives us a measuring tool. We have 0.9 to 1.5 of downside. So we 591.6 or the circle. So it doesn't say anything we haven't identified yet. Hi, Todd. It's very nice to step into the chat room for a few. Oh my gosh, talk about a an advertising campaign between you and the prior comment. That's amazing. Travis, resend my email. Which email? Oh, I see. There you go. You were asking for longs. I popped into another room. Was analyzed. SE? No, not for me. I was asking for longs that are inside support zone. I would be shocked if SE is inside a support zone. There is a large bull call spread there. Oh, you know me to chase options? I would sell you. What is the bull call spread? So what I like to go long is either a tangible breakout on the chart or value. I prefer value, but in the absence of value, the market, there's no value. I want a breakout that is tangible. This is neither. My God. I mean, what the fudge? 1 minute. This is a stock. Wait. Look at this moron investor in the stock. They have no conviction. They either love it to high heaven beyond any logical explanations, or they hate it down to $30 and now they're back to 160 and they're calling it higher than this. I don't trade that anymore. On the way down, I tried. We sold puts. Thank you, Travis. We sold puts, and it was difficult to make money in it. We did, but it was difficult. Square, PayPal, Shopify, they all gave us the same trouble. And now everybody likes it. So people will think, oh, this is an all time high. Hell no, not even close. It's not even half of the all time high. So as you approach this level, resistance, but look how old it is, and look how no conviction they are. It's a ticker I just divorced. Once I won with that credit put spread, I'm out. I appreciate the mention, but yikes. So if you bought calls, I'd be out. If you bought calls around the orange line, which they proved to us that that is a support zone, I would be out. If you were holding calls and you were down 40%, because you were down 40%, whether you posted or not, what are you doing? Are you using this rip to do what I said? Oh, okay, so you're still holding your calls. All right. No stops. It's balls out, no stops. Minus 50, 60%, we don't stop. Just to make sure to track the progress for the rest. Okay, you weren't down 40% on that dip down to 592.40? Wow. Okay. If I was holding calls and I was down 30% and now I'm not, I would be out. Oh, so you added. Okay. So just for the record, if you followed him into calls, he added to his calls. And that's how the math works out. Okay. All right. How about it? I don't know where the math is right now. Whoa. All right. For someone that followed him into calls and didn't stop out, I personally would cut my longs. If I had 10, I would cut them down to 1 if I still wanted to be long. If I had 1, I would be out. Wait for better entries. Right now, we're in the middle of today's range on everything. The leaders, upper box, upper right box, middle right box, they're all standing in the middle of their zones. You buy a call, you're guessing up. You buy a put, you're guessing down. The options are stuck as well. We are inside of a pretty good balance from options. Call buying and put buying is guessing. That's what we do in Vegas. We don't do here. I either buy a call towards the orange line to give myself better odds of a dip, a pop off of support, or buy a put closer to the yellow, upper yellow line. I identified that area as a potential hiccup because of fair value gaps in the options. So I am not being stubborn. I'm just saying right here, there was a fair value gap that was open. Let's see if they hit it as resistance. So now we have a balanced way to approach this. There's plenty, Jack. There are plenty. No, I don't want to touch it. I told you I don't want to swim in that pool. And if I do want to short it, I would buy a put and see if it works. If it doesn't, I get out. If I'm risking my money, I want it to be substantial payout. Credit call spread doesn't pay a lot. I don't know why it should drop right here, right now. They're unreasonable. So this is an unreasonable market inside of an unreasonable ticker. I feel like I don't have an advantage. I have skills on charts and options, and they don't apply there. It's like I'm, Lewis Hamilton in a Ferrari and it's raining, my odds of winning are just like somebody in a startup team back there. Well, it hits home, right? So if you have skills in a game, you don't want to enter a field where there's something that neutralizes those skills. Where do you say you posted the ticker review was submitted last night? I haven't sent it out. I posted it here. I was going to send it out midday. I'll give you a link to it right now. Maria, I feel like we've spoken about it earlier. It was profitable earlier. Let's double check now. Which one did you have? Because mine is $180 profitable. I'm looking at it right now. Which one did you have? It looks like $1,000 will close it. We collected 1,200 plus. Which one did you have? Mine was 372 Iron Butterfly. That was 1750 wide. Oh, 10 each. Yeah, okay. I don't know. So you want it if it's is it at maximum loss? Let me check something here. 1 second. How much should you collect to open? I'm short McDonald's through sold calls and call spreads. How much should you collect to open, Maria, so I can help track it for you? I'm seeing 770 to close. You collected 9. How are you not profitable? It's 770 right now. $10 wide, set at 372.5. Expiration this week, it's 770. You must have done next week. 830, you're still profitable. I see 770 to close. Did you choose next week? That would explain it. Otherwise, your math is not mathing. The Iron Condor from this morning is at 60% or 50% of its maximum gains. It depends on which ones you chose. You can close it and walk away with profits. Yeah, see, that is not a good chart. So buy it back to close it because it was a mistake. You're at risk of assignment when you have sold something in the money. And I don't know if Home Depot pays a dividend or not. That complicates things even more. Hi, Lori. Hi, Neve. Snow? You want snow? Okay. Okay, not an obvious point of entry from an investment perspective. Vulnerable to come down to 160, 164, 160, and 152. Vulnerable, not coming down. Vulnerable. Looking left, this has been an area of failure in spite of its great performance. It reports earnings tonight or tomorrow. So whatever I told you doesn't even matter. The reaction to earnings is completely binary. So come to me tomorrow. If you remember, I will look at the options and then we'll get body language as to what they plan on doing with it. The options are a good tell. So those are my thoughts on snow. Mm-hmm. Okay, so snow reports tomorrow before the market opens. All right. So I'll do target lows, Palo Alto, and snow. Are you sure you're not stuck in the time warp there, Norman? Given that you live in the future? Not today. Give him a hard time living in the future. I'm so jealous. He knows what's happening. Norman, is it going to rain in Seattle this weekend? Possible. Max Headroom. It sure is, Ragu. I still haven't booked that hotel. Oh. Good for him. Good for him. That's what you need. Home Depot has the reputation of being marking, from the CEOs and the founders and investors. It ain't no Target, let's put it that way. This potential is still there, but that has provided an opportunity to buy calls. So as we approach the orange line, if you're buying calls, that's the proper thing to do for the bulls. Yeah, I know. We looked into that, Eddie. Seattle gets less rain than Florida, South Florida. But it's the people's perception that it's always rainy and gloomy. Beautiful place if you can get over the airport mess. Vahid, July, let's double check. Not enough premiums for me to sell a naked call for July. I'd either go to December or make it a credit call spread. So 345 credit call spread is good, or go to January and sell one call way up there in the 370 area, 380. pays more, further away, don't have to worry about it too much. Okay. That's fine. Still, the statement is correct. They get more rain in Florida. I see your point. Math magic. So the VIX tried to gain some strength and now is having second thoughts. Let me rephrase it. The VIX had 3 targets. They hit target 1 and 2 today. The third one is much higher, like 19.3. That's a tall order. So yesterday we downgraded the US credit. Let me say it again. We downgraded the US credit and the VIX couldn't get above 20. And you want it today to go to 19.3? Tall order, which makes holding calls not crazy. What's going on is crazy, but using that logic, holding calls is not crazy. I want to discourage people from holding puts with confidence. The payout will be great, but you need to see signs or cracks in the risk appetite. And right now, we don't have any. We have all-time high everything except the small caps, which are green today, by the way. Up 0.2%. Okay. Just saying. I had some credit call spreads expire yesterday for max gains in the RUT. I have some left over for 10 days from now and 70 days from now that are under fire, 30 delta, 31 delta. I have not adjusted any of them. I have not balanced any of them. They are not large enough for me to worry about right now. I have them on my watch list. I will not let them get away from me. On the SPX bearish positions, where are we? 59.50. I have one position for June 30th, the one I followed JP Morgan with. It won, and if you didn't close it, it's under fire. I would not adjust it today. Okay, you have somebody pretty strong defending your position there. I would roll it up if I had any qualms about holding it there. Or simply buy a call to stop the bleeding. If I collected thousands to short the market through a credit call spread, why not buy a call and hold it? Let them run. Then they'll make you money. Those are the indices. I did sell an XSP call spread for December. The delta there is 17 of the sold call. I'm not worried about it. Win or lose, I'm not looking at it right now. I will add to it at some point. Actually, I will add to it today to see if it's still available. Why December? I don't want to worry about it. They're hard to fill that far out in time, so it's going to be frustrating. By selling call spreads in the indices, it allows you to stay long with confidence. So if you sold a bunch of puts holding some calls, long this stock, long that stock, long the indices, and you throw a few bearish credit call spreads, sprinkle them across time from here until January, you're balancing everything. So whatever you loved about the positions you have, you'll love it even more because you have protection to a degree, balance. On red days in the market, you will have greens from those things. And on green days in the market, your whole portfolio is working for you. And you will have one or two credit call spreads that may take in some heat. The same concept of buying insurance on your car. You spend thousands of dollars a month, thousands between home insurance, health insurance, and car insurance. And not for a second do you say, damn it, I didn't get sick today. I wasted my premiums for this month. You buy health insurance so you can live freely, go out and run and not worry about breaking your leg. So you can drive your car that's worth thousands and hold it with confidence and enjoy it. It's okay to lose money on protection. A lot of people cannot get over that. They hesitate. Oh, is it a good time to buy VIX? Why is it not a good time to buy VIX? If you're buying VIX for protection, of course it's a good time to buy VIX. It's always good to have insurance. It just makes your position so much stronger. Yeah. So if you didn't trim your calls, you're back down to minus 20% at least. So that yellow line is still there for a reason. Now you can move it up to 593.60. You notice how I didn't say we're going to drop? I'm watching the battle. I put the lines of battle and I'm updating the levels. So this yellow line, the scribbly line that I put earlier, should be a little bit higher here. Sunrun, I'll answer. I hung up in his face. I don't do that often. I hung up in his face because they owed us money and they took 6 months to pay, actually more than 6 months, and they finally sent us a check yesterday. So I'm punishing them. Now they answer. They made me chase the $750 they owed. You scalped on that drop? Wow, you're pretty fast. Okay, so there's no reason to start a call here or to start a put here just from what we're looking at the chart. Now, Corey has bearish reasons and Ryan has bullish reasons. Momentum versus data points. That's the battle right here. So for the momentum play to play out, you need friskiness from the soldiers. This is group number 1, which is dead in the middle. This is group number 2, which is dead in the bottom. What do I mean? They have a high, they have a low, and they have a middle, and they're below the middle. This is different. They have a high today, higher than the high before, and a low today, higher than the low before. So this is wound tight more than this. Okay? It's not a bad thing. This just says, oh, I have a bigger runway, but it's still a guessing game. Yeah, that's a pretty fast scalp. Well, if that's the case, then the Iron Condor was the only easy play that there is. Now you enter a lot of other things, like the weakness of the VIX says, okay, the upside looks better. Okay, so there are body language that say the upside is easier, but that's the obvious thing. We came into it with a 1.3% rally from yesterday. actually 2% rally from yesterday on the small caps more. The small caps were down 2% yesterday, and they're now breaking out from the highs of yesterday. So we could have a rotation day to where a small dip in the NASDAQ translates into greens in the small caps, and then CNBC will have their talking point. We have, what do they call this? I don't think they can still claim Goldilocks because we have negative GDP. So at least that talking point goes away for as long as GDP is negative and we have deteriorating job conditions. We don't have metric measured deteriorating conditions in the jobs market. We just have talking points. Oh, Microsoft is laying off 6,000 people. So and so is laying off 6,000 people. I will wait to see it in the metrics. The government can rig the metrics. We learned that from the last administration. I think this one will not be above that either. So they do want to control the mindset. Where can I see Tradie bots on Discord? Okay, I'll get you a link. There is a bunch of channels called TD. They start with the letter T and the letter D. Tradie Tick Bots. It's called that. So I'll point you to one of them. Copy category ID. Will that get you there? No. Copy link. If you log into Discord, here's a link that will take you to one of the channels in there called Golden Sweeps. TD_gold_sweeps. In it, there are unusual options activities that are at least $1 million. So the concept there is like I'm looking at two of them, the last two bullish ones, 6:45 a.m. my time, which is about 2 hours ago. Palantir 12/17/2027 strike at $70, $2 million. I would ignore that. It's 2027. That's somebody shooting shot in the dark. 523 UNH 300 strike. Now that is this week. $2 million bet. They deem it bullish because it was initiated by the buyer. So they assume that the buyer knows something. And the strike is 300. So if you're one to chase it, that would be it. So that's one channel. There's another channel that is query. So it's called TD_queries. In it, you can ask for data, algo flow, etc. Click on that link. If you're signed into Discord, it'll take you right there. How do I know options volume? You have to see if it's done or bid or ask. Every transaction is both bought and sold. So that is a fact. Every transaction, whether you buy options, shares, you buy it, somebody sells it. There's always a buy and a sell. They label it a buy when the buyer is desperate. The buyer initiated and paid the asking price. They label it a sell when the seller initiated it. And it's you understand. You click on the link, it'll take you there. That's my understanding, Maria. I gave you the link so you can click on it. Or scroll down, you should see it on the side. It looks like this. Bonnie, that whole sector, I put lines next to it. See, Tradie Tick bots. Each channel is its own resource. Some of them I don't visit, others I visit often. They have one called Bullseye. That's pretty cool. That's trade ideas. Also, kind of like unusual options activities, but they give you like percent odds of success. Okay, perfect. Yay. In the channel TD queries, hang out there for a little bit and you can see some of the things that people are asking for. Like if you see somebody just query an algo flow, you see what is their syntax, what they type to get it, and you can do it yourself. Speaking of which, let's go check the algo flow. So AlgoFlow, this data is provided by a third-party company called Tradietics. It's a huge resource, pretty confusing. It's like the Cheesecake Factory menu, pages and pages. It's hard to follow, but you focus on areas that suit you. For me, I get AlgoFlow from it. I get options behavior. Like it tells me that there's a $3 million transaction for May 22nd at 591. So I go to 591 SPY and see what that was all about. And maybe I can get some information. 591. Okay, 13,000 calls transacted there, sold calls. So there's 10,000 transacted at 94. That could be somebody rolling their profits up from 91 to 94. So it's not going to bother me much. 1.6 million transaction for today at 593. So I go there and see if I can use that information. It's hard to tell. There are 216,000 transactions there and on the calls and 176 on the puts. So needless to say, they are buying puts and selling calls there, which isn't bearish. People think it's bearish. It isn't yet. So not a lot to do to deal with there. The algo flow is not divergent. Maybe a little bit, but not a lot. So nothing actionable, but it is negative. So the algo flow, the machines are bearish, which is reason enough not to hold calls for no reason. So now we have developed a head and shoulders, which we spoke about earlier. It only just tells us that if we lose footing for today, a new low, we will get to that white box circle, which we've had all day. So now if you were bullish, you would buy calls around that orange line. They have bounced here all day. Losing that, so finishing my red path one more time, that's the third time it plays out. Finishing that red path one more time could put you at risk of coming to the white. But if you buy a call here, that's what's worked all day. You buy a call for the bounce. The call that we mentioned earlier was at 593. It's down 30%. I would not buy it. I would buy the 592 call. Okay. But I will mark that so I don't have to change it. So it is $90 to buy the 93, or 592 would be a little bit more, probably 120. It's a better one to buy. I don't want to buy it because look at the middle part of the screen. This is hundreds of tickers. They were broken out twice and chose to come back down. Somebody said, what would a bull trap look like, or how long since the last bull trap? Well, this could be two bull traps for hundreds of tickers. Right, Corey. But I forgot how you worded it. But anyway, this has been a bull trap. Yesterday, that was a breakout. I can zoom out and show you why. Today, repeated. So, are they lining up more bears? Sentiment says yes. The VIX says maybe. And rallies to, I'm going to reduce this from there to here. Sellers at 593.20. And I'll move it up higher again if I have to. 593.60 or higher is difficult. So if you bought calls here, I would trim at 593.20 or close. Today is the price action is choppy, very consistent, which makes it easy to swing trade, hard to play the bigger swings. So somebody who's actively trading, like a couple of you going in and out, are making bank, a couple hundred at a time. Somebody that's waiting for a big payout is being bled to death because the Iron Condor is playing out so well. Headline territory here. What do I mean? The price action is too pointy, and you have sentiment and the White House creating the support zone, and you have hope creating this upside opportunity. You need something to break through. I don't think it's going to happen naturally. I mean, it could. That'd be great. But this market is too chicken to make decisions on its own that are substantial. So this is where headlines have a way of breaking out of nowhere. PSA for the day: don't ever buy anything on a Kickstarter campaign. If I bought calls at the orange line, I would book my profits right there at the yellow line. If I want to buy puts right here, that works. You buy puts and hoping for a new low of day. Which put? The 593 put will work. 1.11 expiration today, SPY. What if you buy a put here? Your thesis is that we're going to test the low of the day and lose it. If you bought a call and you're hanging on to it, you have the Ryan thesis of a breakout and be extremely fruitful. You just need the XLF, XLY, XL posse not to lose their lunch, because I don't know if the mega caps have it in them to take us higher from here. NVIDIA could change the game. Let me explain. Earlier, somebody said, can NVIDIA fall? Can it? Sure. But it is the least likely of them to fall because it actually priced out yesterday's spike. You see how they tag teaming bulls? NVIDIA hiccuped, fell, got a good base, and now is rallying back. If it takes out 136, NVIDIA goes to 138 and 142 in the next few hours. That is enough to levitate the market out from anywhere red. So tag teaming bulls are extremely dangerous, especially when your leader right now can be NVIDIA. So Germany closed plus 0.3%, which is a little bit higher than here. And they closed about 20 minutes ago, so we haven't seen an effect there. In case you're trading TSLL, I put some lines. Let's go revisit those lines. They were 5 minutes, I believe. There they are. They punched through the first level of resistance. The second one is at 1535. Let's see if they punched through it properly. Yep, that was a proper punch through. They went up, they came back down, confirmed it. Next level, harder to punch through, 1535. Anything above 1545 is pretty difficult. Good base, though, for today. When I say good base, I just mean for today. I don't mean, oh, Nick said 1535 is a good base entry point for an investment. Nope. I'm speaking about today's price action, period. The bond market stabilized, thank goodness, because I don't know what to make of it if they actually lost their lunch today. Coca-Cola, U-turn. I did not yet buy more puts in Coke. I have too many puts in other stocks. I don't want any in Coca-Cola right now. For me to believe the risk appetite to the upside, I need to see stronger bids in Palantir and Meta. Those are momentum stocks. They're lagging. They're not leading. How about that? They're not leading. I haven't found any good juicy KO call spreads. I did find in the KR. How are you underwater with June puts? Make sure they don't get away from you. If the delta is too low, take the money out and reinvest it. Give me the delta. What is the delta on those puts? You can't just sit in a trade and hope for the best. Let's see if we can manage it for you. So the range is getting tighter and tighter right here. These are 15-second candles, folks, and look how narrow that trade is. By the way, I am streaming on YouTube, and what YouTube doesn't know is we have 220 people in here trading live every day in a special platform. So we go courtesy out to public on the YouTube every once in a while. You can be part of a 200-person gang. Yeah, I know. No, I saw it. 15, 18, 20. I did not post it other than Twitter. Like I said, I'm no Kardashian. So if it's good enough, people will come. Delta 28 is iffy, but okay for now. Just don't let it get away from you. Not yet, yeah. Well, I'm not releasing any video anytime soon, so I don't think I'll ever be a Kardashian. You remember how she got famous, right? I'm just saying. uh, maybe I'll put hashtag Kardashian in the video tagline. Wolf, come on. I don't know what you're talking about. There isn't, Luis. There isn't. Not that I know of. All right, we're hitting the contention zone, 593.20, give or take 20 cents. Let's see what they do with it. The mega caps are holding. The XLF and Posse are trying to not to lose their lunch. We do have strong green candles at contention zones. That is pretty bullish. So let's see what they do with that. I did, but I didn't want a specific of actors. 593.40. Strong candle right there. Apple, huge candle, bottom right-hand corner. You can see, I don't know why I have Apple here all by itself, but nevertheless, it did deliver. Is this a 1-minute candle? There we go. Microsoft too, probably. Yeah, a little bit. a lot of Apple and Nvidia. So the mega caps did step up. I did say that they need to tag teaming, and they did tag your it. And now they have runway. If they're able to take that out, that red line, the mega caps, I can't give you a value because it's 7 of them, then they can tackle the overnight highs. So as predicted, this group rested a little bit. This one stepped up. So the sentiment portrayed here in this room is prevailing out there. And the extra body language that we use to say the upside has more odds because of the VIX lack of friskiness. The VIX is now at a must-hold line. We're at the lows of yesterday, pennies away, 3 cents away. You lose that, then the breakout in the S&P should happen. Now the drum roll is even louder. I'm adding extra comments on top of everything I just said. This is a contention zone, but there's extra mojo that gives the bulls an extra advantage. If the calls are not winning, then they're up $5. Thank you, Jack. I got your emails. So NVIDIA has a 1-minute bearish setup, so it might dip a little bit. If you're looking to buy calls in NVIDIA, you might want to buy them at 133.8-ish. The breakout will be violent. Okay, if it happens, it will be violent. And I predict if that happens, there will be a giant dip in the VIX towards like 17.1, 0.2. You're just waiting for it because they're consolidating for quite a bit of time and they want to push through past this zone. So here's one thing I've noticed this year. Whenever they hiccup at an area, their solution, when it's a fair fight, their solution is to leapfrog the problem area. So headline breaks out, this or that or the other, regurgitated or not, doesn't matter, fake or not, doesn't matter. The fact is they leapfrog all the serious battles. So as serious as it is this week, 5933 ES is a pretty sharp fail. And it's a very easy trip down to 5890. We are at 5963. So almost 80 points of that, 8 SPY points of downside are available, if not above yesterday's high. So there's a lot riding on keeping the hope alive and breaching yesterday's high. I said that before the market opened. So now we're going sideways, way too long, way too narrow. These lines in front of us are too long and too narrow. Let me give you a visual. So now it becomes crucial that they don't skip a beat. Let's go to 5 minutes. Probably you see it better. There we go. Okay. This peak needs to be beat ASAP, or this one will be tested and lost, and you'll end up here. Not the end of the world, but it is to the bulls. So they will need something to leapfrog all of this and take off to keep the dream alive. So now we have established the opening range for me. Any approach of the upper third of that brown box on the left is short time, get out of your longs. Any approach of the lower 1/3 is long time, get out of your shorts. Trade that range until one side breaches. If one side breaches, you go half or full size of that. So if we make a higher high of the day, regular session, we have $1.50 of upside potential to $3, to 280, 250, and the downside as well. If we lose 592, we can go to 590, 592, 590.5, 589.9. So those are the consequences of reaching this box. Mm-hmm. No exit strategy. Okay. I don't know what to say. So why don't you put an exit strategy right now? The VIX is 2 pennies away from the lows from yesterday. Went and got a snack. And guess the snack. Cheetos! No, it isn't. It is cucumbers. Listen to this. Let's check on my favorite chart of all time. This one. Woo-wee. We're going to 6,300 or 5,500 in the next couple of months. Let's narrow it down. $5,980 or $5,800, probably the next moves. Oh, is it? Oh, my bad. The big picture, 6,300 or 5,500 in the next couple months. Easy to say, right? We can narrow it down. 5,980 and then 6,100. Take your pick. Okay, versus a drop down to 5,800-ish, 5,790. I'm just giving you the field of play. So if you're super short, now you know that, well, holy crap, we can go to 6,300. Of course we can. I just said 700 SPY, which is why I vote against it. The current fundamentals do not support 700 SPY. Not even on a pull forward basis. So if I'm using PE trailing, like actual PE, or PE forward, you can justify higher valuations for going forward. Not even on a going forward basis can you justify a 700 SPY. Now, this Head and Shoulders is what they call a complex Head and Shoulders, has multiple shoulders. Doesn't matter. The same story. We lose the low of the day. Not easy, but if we do, this white circle ish will come to fruition pretty quickly. I'm too expensive. Right, exactly. No, I hit back. I said, "You're too cheap." Oh, that thing. Yeah, oof. Now I remember your question. Well, the answer still stays the same. I haven't looked at it. I will share it with you somehow. I haven't published it, so I don't know how to share it. Yeah, you and me. They're holding to the bottom. They know they can't let it go. Well, they could. It's not a huge consequence. It's just giving back that rise from yesterday. So we will just go back to a better base. That's all. We're not trending down at all. We are literally in a range sideways today. Losing the low of the day will take you to the white circle. If you're holding puts, that's a trade. If you buy calls, that's another trade saying we may come back up to 593.40. I am more comfortable holding puts here than calls, but that's the trade today. We are range bound inside that orange box. You lose the box, you're going to the white circle. You take out the box, you're going to the upper yellow line. So you look at the XL Posse, they lost their base for today. So the XL Posse, they lost their base. They're here somewhere already. See, that's today's low. They lost it. Not the end of the world. Now they need to come back to it. So watch spikes in Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan to see if they can do it. Visa, MasterCard. All right, those of you who are trading the futures, I'll give you a number right here, right now. 5950. 5950. You don't want to get there. You are $6 above that. You don't want to lose 0.6 SPY. Okay, so you do not want to get to the yellow circle, white circle. If you do on the SPY, you're going to have much more downside from the ES perspective. I don't know what day. Consensus is buy, buy, buy. No, we are trading the range, the orange box. The bulls are defending the bottom end and looking to break out. The risk is that if we lose the brown box support, the low of the day, we go to the white circle. I think if we go to the white circle, we go much lower because that triggers a short on the ES. Okay, so now I can move that yellow line earlier. Um, I'll move it to 593 flat, just below 593. There should be an area of contention. Let's see how easily they take it out. It doesn't mean the other one above doesn't exist. I'm just keeping it relevant into the field of view. $592.20 now is as important as the low of the day. So although it isn't a low of the day, but it is the most recent spike with not a lot of support. I mean, it's quite a bit of time since the last one. Yeah, Tom, we're splitting hairs at this point. I think it's an even enough fight to just make the remark and not read too much into it. It's still the fight of the zone. You just give it a little bit of bearish bias. I look at it as soldiers. Which one of these two groups is going to step up to the plate? They both stepped up to the plate today and yesterday. They might be tired. So, are we going to get a spike in the banks? Are we going to get a spike in the mega caps? If neither, then we're going to make a lower low, go to the white circle. If we go to the white circle, that's going to create a big problem for the ES. Tom, pull up your ES chart and you'll know what I'm talking about. There is a wolf wave that points to hell. What do I mean? If we start falling inside the giant rally from yesterday, it may take a life of its own and lose yesterday's lows. Now, that's a mile below, and we haven't even started falling, so don't load up on puts for that. We're still trading today's range. But if we get to the white circle, it may have a continuing effect to a much lower low than anticipated today. Okay, let me check on the options. We have upside pressure, believe it or not, support. So I see a lot of put buyers step in, call buyers as well. So the upside should be just as limited. There's no gamma pressures from the Traditix gang. There's about $1 of upside pressure from mine. The SPY has, it could bounce to the yellow line and be okay. Other than that, I don't have any clues. Let me go to divergence or not. No divergence. In fact, they're very closely related. Algo flow, but negative. So that's something. The algo flow is negative. We should be able to bounce, and if we do, it's going to be violent. So if you have puts and you're scalping puts and calls all day today, you might want to lock your puts and get into calls for a bounce towards the yellow line and then get out of your calls. Or if you want to buy puts, don't buy them here, buy them at the yellow line. So if we bounce towards the yellow line, try your puts then. Or the safest thing is to wait for 593.40 and buy the puts. Trade the range of the day. So I said earlier, the lower 1/3 of this box is support. I exit shorts and get long. The upper 1/3 of this box is resistance. I exit longs and enter shorts. So by definition, I should have gotten long here for this opportunity. And if I wanted to short, I would short from here on up, not before. Because at some point, these will fail to take out this line, come back down, and breach the range. I don't want to anticipate it. The VIX is too weak. Feels heavy, yeah. But what happened to your scientific method, dude? Today you're all about feelings. Are you inside your own head? Do you need help getting out? Want me to slap you? Figuratively speaking, of course. I would need a step stool to slap him. He's like 1,700 feet tall. No, but it doesn't feel heavy, Tom. Every rally has a lower high. Yes, but we don't have lower highs. We have higher lows as well by the same logic, right? We have a low earlier today and a low earlier a minute ago and a tiny bit. So we have a narrowing range. And the yellow line has become a problem. Let's see if they can overcome it. I'm with you. I'm on the bear. If I were to make a judgment, I'm on the bearish side, but not because of feelings. Because I do have rising wedges that have downside targets. I need to see a breakdown in the mega caps for this to materialize. For as long as Alphabet is making a higher high on the day, it's very difficult. So I don't think Alphabet is a leader, but it did play a leadership role. Monday, when we opened, Alphabet was strong and breaking out. So it played a giant role in shrugging the dip, Alphabet stock, which is rare for it to lead. Microsoft was also strong. Maybe Alphabet was last week. Anyway, so it has played a role in the last few days. So I do respect it, although not a lot. If I look at my account today, it's green. So I'm not compelled to do anything. Woo wee! What happened here? Oh, yeah. I'm not sure I would call it bottom fish. It's just coming back to the base from which they sprang. That is not a place I would exit longs, and I would try longs here. I don't know the business, but that seems pretty good. Is this a rating agency for Isaac? Or is it an employment agency? What is this? Oh no, it's literally the FICO score company. Okay. Yeah. Love that business. The stock price is 1900? Yeah, okay. How liquid is that on the options? Yeah, after that dip, it's a place where if somebody says, "Oh, I'm going to nibble long," I would say, "All right, yeah, that is a place where I would nibble long. Just make sure that the drop is not warranted. Like, I'm not sure why they're falling." Coca-Cola made a lower low than yesterday. If you bought puts on my mark yesterday, good job. I didn't. I should have. XLI is almost lower than yesterday, and XLI was a big piece of the early rally yesterday. So, tag teaming bulls, okay, the leaders from yesterday are resting right now. Coke was high yesterday, XLI was high yesterday, the XLF was high yesterday, and those are resting. So maybe now it's the mega cap's turn to say, let's go, MoFlicker. Look at the upper right hand corner of my box. They're testing their problem area all day. So when it's a problem two times, and this is the third or fourth time at it, and they succeed at breaking it, they explode to the highs of the day, the overnight highs. That's enough to give time for the XLF to find footing and stop dragging the S&P down. That's how they tag teaming bulls. Let's see if they can do it one more day. Again, the comment is at the end of the day, if the bell rings here, I would say an outstanding rebound yesterday, only to take us to flat. And today they were unable to sustain the rally from yesterday. We will refrain from commenting further until we see the overnight action and how it plays. We're basically hovering for a headline. This market does not have any more fundamentals to push it much higher than here, so it's going to rely on headlines. That's my assessment. Like, we squeezed every dollar out of the Microsoft value. Above here, it exits the value proposition. It's not a sell, it's just not a buy. NVIDIA is making a push to break out, bottom right-hand corner of my screen. That's the leader of all the mega caps, upper right-hand corner. Expect 593.20 and 593.40 in the next few minutes on the back of those guys. That's the upside potential. So if you're holding calls from this morning, you must be red. And if you are, without adding, then I would use bursts to exit. It's taking too damn long for your thesis to play out. Without adding and managing the risk size in and out, hoping for the breakout has been costly. So I would use the next rally to get me my money out of the calls. They're still down 30%, the ones I logged. The puts are not down. If somebody's holding the puts for the breakdown, at least they're not losing money. The odds of those happening are equal. Look at it. We're in the middle of the range. And the VIX is still lackluster. I told you we have 0.8 upside pressure on the SPY. They're trying to get it done. So I've mentioned fundamentals, how they're stretched, how we will need another reason to rally. I honestly mean it like old school fundamentals. Forget the charts for a minute. For the S&P to go to 700, we will need a giant burst from the mega caps. How would we justify it from a fundamental basis? Now, the S&P is already almost 30 PE. That would take it to 40, 50, 60 PE. 3 times its usual value. It's just not logical. Not impossible, just not logical. Which is why I'm saying if we burst higher, I will short in size and walk away. I will short in size, hedge, and stop looking at my account. Which means I would sell some calls and call spreads in size, buy some calls to protect me for the short term, midterm, and just sit back and watch. $17.93, $17.92. We are 1 penny away from a new low on the VIX. If we click a new low on the VIX, it might drop to 17.5. That will give the burst of energy that the market needs. That could explain it. This is the second push at 1792 in the VIX. It did not even have green ticks while the market was struggling red a few minutes ago. The bears are not even on the same field right now. There's nothing but bulls. And when we drop, it's because bulls are panicking. They haven't pressed a short. If they had pressed a short, they would have killed the market on April 7th. We fell 7.3% and we couldn't trigger the stops in the market. We fell more than 7%, but it was on the wrong ticker. I think the SPY was down more than 7%, but the SPX wasn't, or vice versa. Two Home Depot iron butterflies for $4.57 each. Wow. Wait, wow. Whoa, really? Oh, it is. It's $920 to close that trade. It's $300 profitable each. Nice. That means Home Depot drifted lower a little bit. Yep, perfect. In the middle of the iron butterfly. So I thought it was slightly bearish yesterday, like slightly bearish. I thought it would fall and bounce back to where the middle of the iron butterfly is, 374. Instead, it popped and it's fading towards where I thought the balance area was. And again, the data was based on transactions for this week. So Mondays, they're not very accurate and they have all week to play out. You see how the mega caps broke out while the XLFs broke down? Tag your it. Normal price action. Feeling heavy or not, this is what's going on. Tom's argument is that we're making lower highs. I mean, it's a valid argument, but it's not looking at the whole day. The whole day is sideways. They're fighting on between zones. The upper ends are resistance. The lower ends are support. If you bought calls here, like I said, one would trade this range. I would exit. I would close all my longs, and I would roll into puts if we go a bit higher. If you got your money back on the calls you didn't, you got some money back, all but 15. So you're now down 13%. If you were long 10, why wouldn't you cut it down and leave a lot less on the line? The VIX clicked the lower low by 5 cents. So now the only reference point I have for fear is the VIX futures from yesterday's pre-open low. It is 8 cents away. So the VIX has a support zone, and not that I trade the VIX that way. I use it as body language. So like I said, as soon as the VIX clicks a lower low, the bulls have free reign to do whatever they want. And it happened exactly how I said it. The VIX clicked, pop, the mega caps broke out. The XLF is trying to recover the neckline. I would buy a put here to see if I can profit down to 592.7 or 8. The retest this yellow line. So they avoided triggering the head and shoulders. In fact, they did trigger it, but they went back above the neckline. The neckline was around 592.6. And now they have the opportunity to draw an inverse head and shoulders by dipping one more time. Just dip one more time and draw this. So you can target the highs of the day. Okay, I'm going to take it out. I think that we dip one more time and we go to SPX, for example, 5939. So $9, so almost $1 of downside on the SPY. We got our purple upside. I told you that there was an upside pressure on the SPY. We got that. That's out of the way. There's no more upside pressure. That normalized. $592.10 would be the surprise drop. A surprise drop can happen, believe it or not. I don't see enough riskiness from the XL posse. So I think we are vulnerable to this. Vulnerable. Yeah. So a simple put is the way I would play it. Which one? I don't know. Let's see here. 593 put is only $85. 594 put. 1.34. 594 put for 1.34. So this is a fast trade, right? For today's expiration, we are 9:42 a.m. The way I would deal with this, so I spend $134. If I'm new at this, I only do one. And then I say, okay, if I lose X dollars, I'm out. Don't let it get out of hand. The calls are back to even. If I was writing those calls and down 30 or 40%, I would be out. I would definitely trim. Now you just got your calls back. Minus $5, 0.05. That's even to me. It's a gift. How can you get to my live room? Easy. Yep. The VIX futures just clicked the new low, lower than yesterday's pre-open low, or post-close low. Sorry, not pre-open low. You know how we closed at the very lows of the quote fear trade yesterday? The futures, not just the VIX, the futures now clicked below that. There's no stabilization with the amount of concern in the market, which is concerning. When nobody's worried, I get worried. Kind of like Warren Buffett does, right? The small caps have lined up a beautiful breakout opportunity. Let's see if they take it. RTY would show it on the 5-minute chart. Check it out. This is 2,000 stocks. Yeah, it's a bearish formation. If they don't break out, they're going to fall back down to the mid-range of the day. It's not the end of the world, or the lower end of the range of the day. But look how many bursts they've done at these levels. All they need is just one poke higher, and boom, they will end up plus 1% today. If you're trying to short, make sure to put stops and make sure to make it a decent size, small size, because you have everything going the bull's way, even though they're shy about breaking out. Everything is going their way. Imagine if just one headline breaks out that helps them. It's gone. So I would be in a put up here. At least I would not be in a call in the upper 1/3 of this orange box. I'm trading the orange box successfully all day, swing trading. So anybody who's actively trading entries and exits like Linda is, this is where you would ditch your shorts at longs and roll into shorts to see if you can capture some downside. Range trade until the range breaks apart. Google did take the lead. So I pointed it out earlier that it's trying to be a leader. I don't think it can do it alone. Microsoft needs to follow, Apple needs to follow, Nvidia needs to follow. Any of those combined with Alphabet will do the job. Okay, I want Meta. That is the honest risk appetite gauge for me, Meta. When they're buying this perceived crap company, people hate it, but it's a momentum stock and it usually leads. Even on bad days, it usually leads. It hasn't led in weeks. Palantir, another leader I need to see leading. People love Palantir. If you say it's priced at 300,000 price to sales, they'll say, no, that's warranted. It's beautiful. It's cheap. It's for the future. So it has the biggest fans on the planet right now. This is the hottest stock on the market. And maybe Netflix, but this one is the hottest stock, the most expensive stock in the S&P, in my opinion. And it's losing its bid. Why are we so much lower than before? I'm reaching for the signs of negativity because there's nothing on paper. The VIX is what people look at, and it's, I don't know, 20%, 10% below its mathematical average, 10 to 15%. So clearly, there's no official registered fear or concern. So you got to reach to get fear or concern measured by other things. Notice we're not stubborn today. We're trading the longs and the shorts inside the box of the day. The Iron Condor played out. Don't be in it. It's 20 cents to close. It made you $60 to $80 out of thin air. The QQQ is the one with the easy upside reach because you have mathematically 7 companies that can change the game. It does not have upside pressure. There's very little gamma, negative gamma, and massive amounts of positive gamma in the SPX today. And when I say massive amounts, like 6 to 1. At what level? 5950. Where are we at in the SPX? So just above here. That's a problem. I don't think we can breach that. So that's why another reason why I would not hold calls here, fast trading comments. Linda, scalp as we approach the yellow line. I'm going to take this yellow thing out. What you want is, as a bull, you want that to happen. So for Linda, she should scalp her bearish position into that yellow path. This one right here was an area of resistance that I scribbled from the overnight ranges. I would imagine it's still there. If I'm holding calls, I would exit as we approach that long horizontal. Let me change the color to white so I can just say white. 593.8. I don't see huge GEX. Where do you see huge GEX at 594? Oh, bearish X. Yeah, that's positive gamma. This could be a pop and drop. So if I'm not holding a put yet because I'm shy about it, I can hold a put when they do this. Buy the put to see if I can make money from that. You understand this one? If you're not holding a put. If I'm holding a put, I want to survive that pop. I'm muting myself for a minute. I think I need another cup of coffee. I'm falling asleep. This is that poke I was talking about. We will pop and drop, is what I'm saying. Yes. I'm just shorting the cluster on the upper left-hand corner. No bias, just levels. Alphabet is gone to the moon. I am short and not that worried about it. I mean, short and long on Alphabet. Puts. 594 is $1.18. Earlier it was $1.34. If you bought it for $1.34, you're down 11%. Not a big deal. If you bought it now, it's $1.18. It's the same setup. A pop and drop towards the yellow line, the 593. If you want to exit at even money on your put, if it dips here, that's just also proper price action. I mean, there's no right or wrong, like 100%. It's just a way of trading. If I was a market maker, this pop would trap a lot of bulls and stop out a lot of bears. So why not? There is a mountain of potential sellers above here if you look at the ES book map. I'm trying to get us information from all angles. There's a huge 594 problem from gamma, positive gamma. The algo flow, let's just see. Where is the algo flow? The algo flow is still bearish and diverging negatively. So that doesn't say bullish. I looked at anything other than Nick's room so far. Benzinga has offered pick one more service. Benzinga anymore? Any ideas of the next best option? Appreciate any pointers. Matt's room, Chris's room. Okay, determine. Tesla levels. Woo, that's a loaded question. Okay. I will revisit Tesla levels for you. 0 and the moon. Somewhere in the middle. It's like the, cable company. We'll be there between 10:30 and July of 2027. Loaded diaper. Okay, so what is that name used on TV? If somebody comes up with a show that has that name, I would be impressed. Loaded diaper. No. It was a cartoon and not a cartoon. Wimpy Kid, yeah. The Brothers band name is Loaded Diaper. Trivia you will never need in your entire life. The trivia will not make you popular at parties. Okay, back to the question of Tesla. Let's go check the levels. It's been a wild one today, Tesla. So calls were $1 million. It came out of the blocks screaming. The high was 354. So if for whatever reason it takes out 354, the target from this morning's breakout, I said in the morning, don't short Tesla. It's aiming to the sky. Like literally, it has no limits. It literally has no limits. Okay. So they want to go wherever they want to go, they can go. Now you can trade these long wicks that they've placed today. The biggest one would be at the open. Okay. So if you want to dissect those wicks, 352.3. I'm being picky. Okay. That's an area of resistance today. And anything above that is wishy-washy. If you want to put a line, it would be somewhere around 353.5. So those two. Gonna be on CN. I thought he was already talking today. Yeah. Anybody that shorts Tesla is, I don't know, you have a death wish or something. It's like shorting Netflix. Don't even try. Not for now. I thought he was already on CNBC. This morning, somebody said Elon is talking. Maybe it was somewhere else. Okay, we're inside the upper third of the orange box. So far, the range of the day has been playing out. Upper third, lower thirds. We have proven support, proven resistance, except one time. We have a contentious zone that has been breached, therefore that is support now. So any drops from here to here should find buyers into 593. Breaking out of 594 is going to be extremely difficult because of positive gamma. Not my information. That's information dolled out by a third-party company. My information says the following. We have recovered the upside pressure that we mentioned earlier, and now we are entered into downside pressure, at least pressure. So coming here is one thing. Going through here is going to be more difficult. And if we pop above here, we should find dips. Now, all of that said, the VIX cannot find a floor. So I'm not sure where the red ticks are going to come from. So all the options data say that. And then you have the price action in the VIX that says, oh my gosh, I'm going to go to zero today. I still think there is a disappointment coming maybe today from Google. So far it's exploding higher. Let's see if it can hold that level. Not speaking against Google. I have nothing. Actually, let me check into Alphabet stock, okay? I think Home Depot drifts lower a little bit from here using the options data. The magenta colored bar for Home Depot is a lot lower than where it is. For Alphabet, they're transacting higher, so I wouldn't short it for this week. I am short, but out to December at way higher levels. Half the stocks on my list are red, and the market is this bullish, and we're not green yet. Can you imagine? What a dichotomy we have. Now we have a plus 0.2% rally and a breakout in these small caps. So I will short the small caps one last pop if they do it. It will be a wolf wave 5 triggering a downside retracement. You're welcome. Home Depot, I'm just reading the options. The collection of options dollars is lower for Friday. Of course, this is only Tuesday, so there's plenty of time to play out. It's just I wouldn't chase it any more higher. Let me check what they actually delivered. Imagine that, us checking the actual fundamentals. So tonight I'm scheduled right after the bell to do an hour worth of session of charting for the Benzinga team. That was part of my deal. They have canceled all of my personal appearances everywhere else, so I'm not sure if they'll let me do that. I'm planning on going live inside the platform of Benzinga for an hour after the bell rings today. Whether they cancel that as well, I'm not sure. But the body language says that. We'll see. I think I can just go online and go pull the trigger. Whatever. What do we call that? Home Depot. Please have the numbers ready. Okay, that looks good. A 9% increase in sales. That is a respectable result. Home Depot cranking on all cylinders. Don't short it for no reason. Amazing company. Lowe's tonight, I think. Oh, that's another reason why you do not want to be long or short Home Depot for tomorrow because it might move with Lowe's. He's doing a webinar. Yeah, that was supposed to be mine, I think. Well, believe it or not, somebody in this room triggered this whole thing. How about I rephrase it? Somebody in this room was the straw or whatever, the drop that overflowed the bucket. It was not you, Wolf. I'm not saying who it was. I'm okay with it. It is what it is. Good guesses there. Thank you for sharing that. Mike, you can share it in public so other people can see it. Okta. Wow, that's a name out of the blue. Yeah. I haven't traded Okta in a while. Where is it? The moon, of course. Oh no. Yikes. Okay, that is definitely a momentum stock. Calls to 125.8 and 126.20. Short-term comments. Last time I tried to share on that platform, it would not let me. I will try to log in from a different platform today. All right, so I guess I need to recap the day. So here's me trying to recap the day. Let's see if I can come up with the words. Oh, snap. I'm still logged in. That's pretty... What time is it? 10:10. I guess I can wait. Let's wait a little bit. It feels a lot later. Because I did 50 tickers this morning before the market opened. If you were here early, I ran through 50 tickers and recorded it. Well, yeah, that's what we said. Range bound. Trade the orange box until they break out or break down. What's the link for that? I will post it in a little bit. Let's see where the link is. You guys should subscribe to youtube.com/simple stocks and subscribe to it. It's free. That's my YouTube channel, our YouTube channel, I should say. And also put the bell on. The answer is short anything you want. Everything is through the roof. Let's look at Snowflake. You just need a plan. Yes, a bearish setup on Snowflake is fine. Downside target is 161. Credit call spread, debit put spread would be it, except it reports earnings. So everything I just said, forget about it. Tonight, before the bell rings, I will look at the options chain and tell you what I think, where the market is lined up for it. You're welcome, Jack. So I'm getting bearish divergence between Bitcoin and the S&P. Let me explain. There is a tool out there that measures divergence between whatever tickers you want. You say, I'm tracking the stock. I want you to look at that stock at the same time. If this one goes that way, I want to know. I've had this on, I don't use it often, but it's on one of those charts that sits there. It's pretty darn accurate. So I'm getting short, but it's not playing out. Basically saying that we're going to trade the orange box one more time. That's what that's saying. Also, I want to bring up the fact that yesterday's long sticks that we saw in the middle of the day may have affected the metrics for today. So yes, I'm usually confident with my targets, but maybe yesterday's long wicks are hiding some stuff. Because technically those long wicks closed all the weak areas in the chart, thereby giving the the machines that are trading today a self of, hey, we've consolidated below, everything has been closed, I can spring higher from here. It's almost like an engineered dip that never materialized, but giving the machines reasons to just go up because we dipped. You understand? So visually, we had long sticks like that yesterday that covered every weak point below. So now the machines think that we've consolidated. We've dipped and recovered, and here we are back at the breakout area. So they can break out with confidence. Even though that lasted 1 second each, literally. And it happened across the QQQ, not as many, but it happened. And across some individual stocks as well. So here I have green ticks in the market and green ticks in the VIX at the same time. Who's wrong? Watch how these guys are resting and these guys are stepping up to the plate. They already recovered their, they lost the base and they recovered it and then some without hesitation. So they're going to go and try to break out one more time. That'll be the third time they try to break out. Let's hope these guys don't drop, because if they do, then we go back to rinse and repeat. You want these to go back up and these come up and threaten, then the bulls will retreat and the VIX will be 17, not 18 or 17.8. So that's the bearish sentiment. I don't think they can do it for as long as the positive gamma is that large at 594. I think 594 is a big wall. In fact, the way I would trade this, if I don't want to buy puts, I would sell a call spread right in front of it, right in front. And so something like, don't do it if you don't know how to trade spreads, okay? The thesis I'm mentioning, credit call spread at, where are we now? 59.50. So I'll go 59.70. What does that pay? Not enough. 59.60 pays $130. 59.60. So $130. I'm risking $370. It's like buying two puts. And I don't need a drop to win. I just need them not to explode and hold. So, and if it does drop, I buy it back for 80 and pocket the 70. So I would have made 70 divided by 370, which is pretty good. So 20%, 18 to 25%. Buying a put is more fruitful, harder to manage. You can buy a put. The buy the put method would be just simply to buy a put. Which one? We are at 594. You buy the 594 put, it's $100. It was 134 when we mentioned it the first time, 118.17 when we mentioned it the second time. So it is down 25% on the second batch, maybe 30% on the first batch. It's still the same concept. I would still be in it. Does the high gamma 594 price likely depend? It just tells me it's not easy to go through it. That's how I interpret it. So if we get there, I close my calls and try puts, which is what we've been preaching all day. Trade the orange box. 594 is the orange box. I haven't said a thing that was wrong today with regard or binary, like biased. I said trade the box, go long at the bottom 1/3, go short at the top 1/3, and it's been playing out all day. At some point, they will break out of the box, up or down. We don't know. But when they do, we will extend the gains in that direction, at least half of it. So $1.20 to 250, 260. In that direction, whichever direction they happen to be. Okay. I did make a call. I was just reporting back from Raghu, who actually lives in Seattle. I blame Raghu. J'accuse. Okay, so I cannot hold this new wallet without playing with it all the time. It's like a fidget toy. Don't buy it if you have fidgety tendencies. Now I remember why I get rid of my Pataka. Okay, so that explains those sharp pops and drops. Okay, so if you were hating life because you were holding a put that was red, this dip brings you back to flattish or less red. Trim it. I gave the same advice to people who were holding calls and we were down at the bottom. That's just proper price action. Risk management, I should say. But it all depends on your risk appetite. This time of day, I'm a little bit brave when it comes to money. Later in the day, I'm not so brave. I respect the gamma effect. In case you didn't know it, the change, the rate of change late in the day accelerates at an exponential rate. No, unless you enter correctly, you're not getting paid a lot. Like if you bought it for 100, you're now up $16, 16%. If you bought it for 117, you're back to even. If you bought it for 134, which was the first time we mentioned it hours ago, you're still down a little bit, acceptably so. If you think we're going to come down to 593, then you hold on to those puts. I think we will. Let's see if it plays out. Let me take out all the lines. So 595.50 would be the upside slow burn. So if Ryan is holding calls, it's because he sees 595.50. He's not wrong. Okay. But that requires breaking out from 594. Until that, I assume we can't do it today, maybe after hours, maybe tomorrow. So that's why I'm insisting on trading the range until we go to the 5-minute target of 595.50, which has been here since yesterday. Remember, the upside target was 597. All right, YouTube. You've had enough mooching. Last minute requests. UNH, what do you want? I can speak to it without looking at it. Could you please let me know when your private online session will become available? What do you mean, private online session? You're welcome. Tom, I don't understand your question. UNH presented a great opportunity for investors in that stock. The easy bounce off of the second drop has happened. Now they're struggling inside that zone. If I bought the dip for a trade, I would have been out yesterday. If I bought the dip for an investment, there's nothing to do except to sell some covered calls if I have enough shares. You need at least 100 shares to consider selling covered calls, and you have to be smart with that too. Not an obvious entry point. It's a headline stock. I would sell a put to own shares instead of buying calls. My least favorite is buying calls. Buying shares is okay. All of this I don't need a chart for. Are you talking about today? I did put lines for today only. I believe somebody asked about UNH active trade today. I should have lines here somewhere. Could have sworn I had lines. Oh, yeah, that's the line I put. No, it isn't. Oh, there it is. Box, not line. Area of interest, resistance, and 2 areas of support. So as they fade into 300 or lower, you should find buyers. There shouldn't be any reason it goes below 300 or 296. On the way up, I think they hiccup into 336. Lori RTY is yes, but it's plus 0.2%. IWM 210 is pivotal zone. So here's what's going on. I mentioned it earlier today, and I was hoping it wouldn't happen because it just adds to the fuel of upside. Let's go, let's go. The hodling accelerates if they can say at the end of the day, we have mixed markets today. And right now they can say that. We have mixed markets today. We have an explosion in the small caps. And I mean that. It was 2081 hours ago. It is 2115 right now. That's a big rally. 10 IWM dollars? No, I'm doing the math wrong. Anyway, there's quote rotation from tech to small caps. They can claim that. So that keeps the hope alive. Not a reason to go long the IWM, but the catch-up trade is massive in the IWM. In-person event online. Yeah, we're not doing that right now. I'll keep you posted, although I don't know which Tom that is, so you should sign up to send me your email or something if you haven't already. And try out simplestocks.com at least for a month. And if you don't like it, I would be shocked if you don't find yourself making money every day or learning something every day. So how much would you pay for an area where you can log in anytime you want, hours at a time, and learn a skill that will teach you how to make money for the rest of your life? You tell me where there's a place like that that costs under $70 a month, and I'll tell you, sign me up. You pay more than that for coffee. I'm just saying. Anyway, YouTube, I'll see y'all later. Rudely hanging up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Goodbye.